Yo, what is up, you guys? And welcome back to episode number 4 of our 60 to 99 overall no money spent series, featuring our 6'11 Chris Bosh build. And in episode number 3, we did make our NBA debut with our Chris Bosh build on the Toronto Raptors, and unfortunately we have started out the season 0-4. So today in episode number 4, we're going to be trying to look for our first win out here in the NBA. So before we do hop into our NBA games, I do want to show you guys our new custom jumper. Obviously the goal is to make sure our jumper looks as close to Chris Bosh in real life as possible. We are still using that Julius Randle base that I think does give a really good representation of Chris Bosh's jumper, but we're also going to be using 75% Noah Essang and 25% Kevin Duckworth. One thing I've noticed about Chris Bosh's jumper, a lot of times he does take his offhand off the ball pretty early. And of course, we're going to be continuing our My Career NBA games on the Hall of Fame difficulty, just in case you forgot or you're new to this series. So here we go, our first game of the day. We're going to be playing against the Houston Rockets, who are surprisingly only 1-2 to start out the season, but their big new addition in the offseason was Kevin Durant, as we're going to start out with a nice drive and dunk here in the second quarter. Unfortunately, this first game, there's really not worth showing too much, just because we are eventually going to take an L in this one, but we do get some nice standing dunks with our GOAT skill active, currently up in the second quarter. But you guys see in the third quarter, we are going to start to fall behind, as we're going to set some nice screen and rolls, get open, going towards the rim. Brandon Ingram right here, setting a nice little pick and pop, showing off our new jumper right there. But yeah, later in the fourth quarter, you guys see we do fall back behind 20. The chemistry with the team, it's just still not quite there yet, figuring everything out, and obviously playing up against a good team like the Houston Rockets. Our first win, probably not going to happen against them, as we do fall by 16 in that one. We do put up 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists in that one though, and we do shoot 11 of 22 from the field. So overall, a really good scoring game for us, but we really just don't get any help out of Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes. And we do total up 1,104 VC in that one to add to our total. Now we are up to 7,754 total VC. I'm going to quickly hit a daily challenge out here for 500 VC. You guys see it's just perform a Timo in the city. So that one was really easy to hit right there for 500 VC. And now we are going to choose to spend this VC. I am going to put it into our interior defense. Eventually we will want to be at that 70 interior defense rating paired with that 84 block in order for us to have silver paint patroller. So I'm just going to make a little bit of progress on that interior defense. Obviously it'll help us out with contests in these NBA games. And then you guys can also see an update to our badges that we're currently using our max +1s and +2s on. We're going to be rocking with this Hall of Fame Deadeye. Hopefully can negate some of these tough contests out here up against this Hall of Fame defense. So now we're 0-5. We're going to be playing the Cleveland Cavaliers, Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen down low. You guys know how tough of bigs they have over there in Cleveland. We are going to start this one out with a quick run out, getting ourselves down court. And then later on in the first quarter, we are going to call a post up for Brandon Ingram. You guys see he has Darius Garland on him. This is what I'm going to look to do a little bit more, try to get our teammates involved and get them some easy buckets when we do see them with a mismatch. Now later, playing some defense, we're going to get a solid contest right there. RJ Barrett's going to be pushing up the ball. I'm going to be trying to set him a screen, but then I realize we have Lonzo Ball on us. This is a height mismatch for sure. We're going to take him down with the drop step, finish through some contact right there. But now we're going to be down by 8 in the fourth quarter. Chris Bosh picking up a great block in transition, nice hop step, and then once again finishing through a little bit of contact. Now down by 6 with 6 minutes left. We have 16 points, 17 rebounds, another height mismatch down low. We're really starting to work in this post game for Chris Bosh, but at the end of the game, it might just be a little too late, as Emmanuel quickly is going to hit an off the dribble 3 ball to cut the Cavaliers lead to 3, as we do come up with the rebound down by 3. We have to look for a clean look right here. I see Brandon Ingram has Darius Garland on. Gonna try to get him to pop for 3. He doesn't go behind the 3-point line. Emmanuel quickly takes an ill-advised go-to shot. We needed 3. For whatever reason, he starts dancing around, instead takes the 2 and misses it. And unfortunately, we do lose our first 2 games of episode number 4. So we're starting out our season 0-6 with the Toronto Raptors. We put up a 24-20 game with Chris Bosh. We also have 3 assists and 4 blocks in that one. So once again, we're playing unreal out here. It's just the other guys we're not getting enough out of. And we do get a nice quest completion for our merchandising tier 2. You guys are going to see our total VC is now going to be at 3,700 total. So now up against the Memphis Grizzlies in our next game. This is a team that we can absolutely get our first win against. They're not too overpowered. They do have some good bigs with Jaren Jackson as we get a nice dunk over him. They also have Zach Edey down low, but you guys see we're going to be able to get a nice block up against Jaren Jackson. Going to set a nice screen right here. Jaren Jackson, he's going to close that recklessly on us, and we are going to be sent to the free throw line as we do knock down our first one, and then we also get our second one to go as well. So now with a nice 6-point lead on the game at the end of this first quarter, 3 minutes left to play, we get a nice block right there. We're going to push it up to Scotty Barnes in transition. We have some space from the mid-range, but Zach Edey, he obviously has a very long wingspan, so we're going to be wise. We're going to pass this one out. No reason to attack him in the paint. Might as well get away from the paint. Nice pick and pop, and we're going to knock down the mid-range. Now up to 8 points and 4 rebounds in this one. We're going to get another good contest in the corner there on Aldama, and we're going to just run up the court with our takeover. We don't have to worry about our stamina, and we're going to get a nice two-handed flush there. Now with our lead to 5, we get a great block on Zach Edey right there, making up some ground. End of this second quarter, we're going to try to get a bucket in transition as we do miss it, but look at Jakob Poeltl cleaning that one up for us. Now up by 3 in this second half. We're going to set a nice screen right there, and we're going to use the speed to our advantage as we break to the rim for the easy dunk. Now, Zach Edey going to pick up a nice rebound. They're going to get an offensive board, but look at Chris Bosh with the hustle. We didn't even have good positioning on that one. As Scotty Barnes is going to finish through some contact, get an and-one dunk, and that is the exact passion that we're hoping to see from our teammates. Going from this point forward is them starting to play with a little bit more ferocity out here as we do knock down the mid-range. Showing you guys the updated jumper on our Chris Bosh. I do think it just does a better example of Chris Bosh's real life jumper as we do get ourselves a block on Jaren Jackson Jr. He has a lower release, so those ones are a little bit easier to time than some other bigs right here up against Aldama. I'm going to call for the ISO. We do have some space. I am able to get a Euro step in the paint, even though Brandon Clark comes over. We're going to finish this one off. Chris Bosh out here doing whatever it takes to get our first win on the season. We do not want to start out 0-7. The hole is already deep enough. We do not want this hole to get any deeper, as I'm going to do a nice little give and go right here. Brandon's going to hit us back as we do flash right to the paint in transition. Aldama's jumping, and we're making him pay. Now, Jaren Jackson's going to cut inside. Look at Ja Morant finishing through some contact with just an insane floater. Just as we think we're going to be able to break away in this game in the fourth quarter, Ja is going to get a 3-point play with an absurd floater through contact right there. So now our lead is cut to 4. We are going to drop a play though for Brandon Ingram. I see he has Jalen Wills on him. He's going to go with a post fade. Not the best shot selection, but at the end of the day, I am trying to get our teammates involved, trying to get them in positions where they can get some buckets and maybe get into a rhythm out here as we do get a nice block in the fourth quarter. 3 minutes left to play. We're picking up the block. We're running in transition. The hustle plays are there for Chris Bosh, doing the little things, whatever it takes for our first win. Now, with a lead cut to 3, we have our takeover active. The Grizzlies are not playing disciplined defense. Zach Edey, he is getting lost in transition. His teammates are trying to pick me up, but they are just too late getting back, as we are able to pick up a nice block here in clutch time. Ja Morant tries to go with the floater in the paint as we do pick up our 8th block of the game. Just an insane defensive performance out here for Chris Bosh, as we do miss our first free throw, but it's all right because Chris Bosh, we're going to calmly knock down the second one, and that is going to be enough for us to get our first win on the season. And as that one ends, we are going to finish with 27 points, 13 rebounds, 8 blocks total. We shoot 12 of 19 from the field. We were just living in the paint on that game. A few mid-rangers out there, but for the most part, we were being really aggressive at the rim. We are going to be awarded with 1,168 total VC in that one. So we are sitting on 4,800 VC after the win. And I would like to be able to step behind the line and shoot 3 balls with a little bit more confidence without our GOAT skills active. So we're going to bump our 3-ball up to a 68 overall. Now we're sitting at a 76 overall rating, and now we're going to hop into another game up against the Milwaukee Bucks. You guys know Miles Turner and Giannis down low. This is not an easy matchup for us, but we are going to show off our new 68 3-ball a little bit in this one. You guys are going to see we're going to be able to knock down a couple 3-balls out here. Somehow, some way, we're subbed out of the game. Our teammates are able to cut the lead to 3 while we're on the bench. So now we're going to be looking for a 3-ball. I know Emmanuel quickly, he is our best 3-point shooter off the dribble. I'm hoping he's going to get some space off a screen here, and instead he's just going to reject the screen, throw a turnover, and that is how we pick up another loss. So we are starting out the season 1-7. And up until this point in the season, Chris Bosh is averaging 22 points, 10 rebounds. We're picking up 1.5 assists per game. And also we are picking up 2 blocks a game as well. So a very good rookie season right here from Chris Bosh, as we are currently sitting at a 76 overall on the Hall of Fame difficulty. But overall as a team, we are currently 1-7. So here we go, jumping into our 9th game of this NBA season. We are going to be taking on the 4-4 Atlanta Hawks. Losing many more games to start out this season is just going to put us in too deep of a hole, as we get ourselves a nice cleanup down low up against Trae Young. Emmanuel Quickly, he's going to do a nice quick backdoor cut on that one as he finishes at the rim, and we're picking up our first assist. Now look at this dime from Emmanuel Quickly, running the play right there, finishing strong above the rim. I love Emmanuel Quickly looking for the lob in that position as Chris Bosh goes up to finish that one. Now 6-5, we're going to set a screen right here for Brandon Ingram, trying to get him going. He's going to finally take a mid-range pull-up. That is exactly what we've been looking for from Brandon Ingram so far this season. He just really hasn't had the best shot selection. It just seems like he kind of wants to be a catch and shoot player. So we're going to be looking to set him some more screens out there, and hopefully he continues to look for that mid-range. As Porzingis, he is going to finish through some contact over us, but right here we are going to get it back as we get ourselves a nice dunk meter right there. We are currently down by 5 as we pick up our 7th rebound of the game. We're up to 8 points in this one. Now in transition, Emmanuel Quickly working around the screen, 68 3 ball. We're going to be able to knock that one down. Up to 11 points in this one as Trae Young is going to take a tough shot right there. We're playing some good defense in the second quarter. 4 minutes left to play. We do have another mismatch on us as I get a nice seal down low, and Chris Bosh is going to finish that one with 2 hands underneath. Now look at Scotty Barnes, man. He's sick of this losing, finally showing off that defensive capability that he has. Very long defender out there. We want to see Scotty Barnes getting out more in those passing lanes, using that length to disrupt opponents' offense. So now we are up by 2 in this third quarter. RJ Barrett is going to get involved now as he gets himself a nice 3-ball off the dribble. And once again, man, look at Brandon Ingram going to work in that mid-range. Nice pull up right there as we do get ourselves a good contest up against Porzingis trying to attack us in the paint. They're going to push it up to Scotty Barnes. I'm telling y'all, man, Scotty Barnes was not doing that up until this point in the season. I have no idea what changed, but we're going to keep rolling with it as we set ourselves a nice screen right here. Good open with the pop. They're leaving us too much space out there as we get ourselves a nice 2-handed finish down low. A little bit lucky on the bounce, but hey, man, at this point in the season, currently 1-7, we will take all the luck we can get. Currently up by 1 with 4 minutes left to play. We have 20 points, 16 rebounds, 2 assists. I'm looking for Scotty Barnes. I see that he has Trae Young off him, but we also have someone on us. I don't even know his name. So that means a post spin will probably work up against him as we get ourselves a nice bucket there. Now, Scotty Barnes, another mismatch. He's going to pass out of the double team. RJ Barrett's going to bury the big 3-ball in the fourth quarter. Now running up another play right here. Trae Young, he keeps getting stuck on Scotty Barnes. Look at the ball movement though. One more pass from Chris Bosh over to Emmanuel Quickly as he knocks down a big 3-ball, but later our lead is cut to 2 as we get a huge block up against Porzingis trying to pull a 3-ball in our face, but we know how much he wants to shoot that 3-ball as Nickeil Alexander-Walker. That is exactly why the Atlanta Hawks picked him up, for his defensive capabilities, and he is going to cut the lead to 2 after that steal. We need ourselves a bucket here. We cannot drop this win right here with our teammates playing so well. So Chris Bosh, we're going to make sure that we can seal this one up as we hit a huge 3-ball in the clutch. We're going to finish with 19 rebounds total, 29 points total, and a 5-point lead for our second win of the season. Trae Young had an amazing game. He put up 38 points, but we do hold Porzingis only to 12 points. Once again, Chris Bosh, 29 points, 19 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. Very efficient game as we do rack up 1,180 VC in that one. And also we are going to knock out another tier of this merchandising quest line as we do add on 5,000 VC to our total. And at this point, I was curious to see how many more tiers are in this merchandising quest line. It looks like there is going to be another tier for us to complete for 7,500 VC. And it's just simply putting up 2 20-point games in the NBA. Obviously, that is below our average. So we should be able to knock that out over our next 2 NBA games. We're currently a 76 overall, but we do have 12,000 VC to spend. So we're going to be putting that into our speed with ball, boost that up to a 68 overall. And now we're going to have access to bronze lightning launch. And after boosting up our speed with ball attribute, that means that we do have access to some more dribble style. So we're going to be putting on the Giannis dribble style. So now let's get into our 10th game of this NBA season. You guys are going to see we're going to be playing the Philadelphia 76ers, who are also struggling to start the season. Look at the beautiful pass though. As we do start this one out, they're going to double us in the post. We're going to hit Brandon Ingram on a nice little back cut right there. Now with Embiid on us, we're going to pass this one over to RJ Barrett. We're going to set him a screen, give him some space to cook. We're wide open, so we're going to call for the ball and knock down a nice mid-range right there. Now, we do have a mismatch in the post here, so we're going to just finish strong, and you guys are going to see there is going to be a bonus goal in this one for 100 BC, so we are going to be shooting for that as well right here. I have no idea what happens to Kelly Oubre. Somehow he falls. We are going to go with the post fade and knock it down. But yeah, I have no idea what made him fall. I don't know if it was an ankle breaker or if that was just a weird glitch. I honestly have no idea what was going on with Kelly Oubre right there. But once again, we're going to take him down low in the post this time. We're going to finish with a drop step over him. Finish with two hands. Now we're going to show off our new speed with ball and bronze lightning launch as we're able to get around Embiid. And then in transition, after the closeout, we're going to leak out in that one as we're up to 16 points, 7 rebounds in this one. We're going to have another mismatch down low. Now we're really starting to figure out how to use our drop steps. I figured because our strength wasn't upgraded yet, the drop steps, they wouldn't be worth using, but when we do have these mismatches especially, it is a move that we should be looking for going from this point forward. As in the fourth quarter, Tyrese Maxey, he's going to knock down the tough jumper to cut the lead to 3. So now I'm going to be setting a screen out here for quickly. They're going to leave us open for 3. That 68 3 ball, it's working wonders for us out here right now. Eventually, we will be able to upgrade it all the way up to an 83, but for now, we're going to be rocking out with this 68 as Joel Embiid is going to knock down a free throw later on in this fourth to tie things up. 2 minutes left to play, 28 points on the game. We're going to be setting another screen out here. Emmanuel quickly, he doesn't connect with it, so we're just going to continue to look around. We're going to find Brandon Ingram, and we're going to see what he wants to do off the dribble. We have some space, but Paul George is going to come over, get in front of us. Once again, giving it back to Brandon Ingram right here. That is a beautiful look. He's wide open, but he cannot knock it down. So now we have to get back in transition and play some defense. 1:30 left to play. Emmanuel quickly does an amazing job up against Tyrese Maxey right there. Now, Scotty Barnes with the ball. He's going to push it down low into Ingram. That is some great team chemistry right there as we get ourselves a good contest up against Joel Embiid. You guys see the team chemistry. It is still flowing out here for the Toronto Raptors. It was we pick up a nice assist to Scotty Barnes right there in transition. So now with a 2-point lead, we have to get a bucket here if we want to come out with our 3rd win of the season. Embiid's going to sag off us way too much. He doesn't realize we can spread the floor just like he can, as that's going to give us a 4-point lead, 30 points total. But Maxey is going to answer with a 3 ball and cut our lead to 1. I'm waiting to see if they're going to foul. It looks like they aren't. I'm going to go right around Embiid. He's not going to be able to stop us, and we are going to finish strong. Very small green window on that driving layup, but nonetheless, we do get it to fall, and we are able to knock out that bonus goal right there for an extra 100 BC, which was score 32 points. We are going to close this one out with a 3-point win. We do finish with 36 points total, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists in this one, as we do go 14 of 24 from the field. And that performance right there is going to be enough to give us 1,200 BC in that one. As we do get ourselves a small quest completion right here, Nike Tier 2. We did sign with Nike, and we do get ourselves a little bit of VC tacked on after that performance. And then also we do win the jersey swap quest. So after that game, we are going to be sitting on 4,200 VC as we do hop into another game up against a struggling Eastern Conference team that is the 1-9 Brooklyn Nets. Starting this one out, you guys see the mismatch. Cam Thomas on Scotty Barnes, absolutely have to get in the ball, call a post up for him, and just let him go to work in the post. Scotty Barnes is not a good three-point shooter yet up until this point in his career, but around the paint, using his length and his athleticism, that is exactly when we want to get him the ball. Is right here. I'm going to do a nice flash to the paint in transition, get behind the defense, and finish that one off strong with a dunk. Now playing at the power forward position next to Jakob Poeltl, we're going to go to a nice step back right there in the mid-range. So now up to 4 points in the game. We're going to go right back to that step back in the mid-range, starting to mix up a little bit the way that we like to score with this Chris Bosh build. But look at the team chemistry, man. Not even involved in that play. There's going to be a nice screen and roll right there for an easy bucket for Jakob Poeltl. Now in transition, once again, we do have this GOAT skill active, so we're going to finish strong with the meter dunk right there. We're going to get some more space from the midi. It is going to be an offensive foul down low, but it happened after we already released the ball, so the points do count. Now working the offensive boards. Manuel quickly going to reload it after that big offensive rebound from Chris Bosh. And we're going to be up by 7 here in this third quarter, looking for Scottie Barnes in transition. That is exactly the perfect time to find him, is out in transition, as once again later on we're going to give it to Scottie Barnes. And look at Scottie Barnes keeping his eyes up, hitting RJ Barrett in the corner for a 3-ball. This one is going to be our first easy win of the season up against the Brooklyn Nets. You love to see it. We didn't even have to go crazy in that one. We had 16 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists. Quickly had 16 points. Jacoby Walter also pitched in 12 points. RJ Barrett with 9. So a great overall team win right there, as we do tack on 1,000 BC to our total. So now we're going to be sitting on 5,200 BC as we start our next game up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I will say the Toronto Raptors, they have a tough schedule to start the season, but maybe it's honestly that there's not too many teams that are worse than the Toronto Raptors. So maybe every team seems pretty good out here, but nonetheless, we are playing the Cavaliers once again. It is currently 6-6 as we are going to leak out in transition and pick up our 6th point of the game. And we do have 7 rebounds so far in this one. We're going to see Brandon Ingram once again staying aggressive, taking it off the dribble, finishing through some contact down low. I see Scottie Barnes in transition, going to force the ball up to him, and look at him finishing through some contact. 26-20 now. We do have a 6-point lead in this second quarter. Look at the beautiful play as RJ Barrett hits Emmanuel quickly on a back cut right there. Now it's Chris Bosh's turn. Mismatch on him. Darius Garland is not going to be able to stop him in the post. We're spinning right off him, finishing strong in the paint as we're playing some more good defense. They're trying to throw lobs on us, get a little bit disrespectful in the half court. We definitely got to take that one personal, as the score is now tied. Max Strus on us. We had the height advantage, so I'm going to get the ball back and finish strong in the paint. But once again, with the game tied up, Chris Bosh open from the midi. Evan Mobley's going to try to take a tough contested 3-ball. We're going to come down with the rebound. We're going to give it up to Emmanuel quickly. He's going to find us open for a big 3 to extend our lead in this third quarter, now up by 5. We're going to be running in transition. We're going to get a mismatch in transition, so you know exactly what Chris Bosh wants to do with that one. Spin off him, finish strong at the rim with 2 hands, now up by 7 in this fourth quarter, trying to beat the Cavaliers for the first time this season, as we get ourselves a nice step back from the midi right there. Good shot selection. We just can't get that one to fall, as Sam Merrill is going to knock down a 3-ball in the corner. So now only up by 4. You guys know the Cavaliers, one of the favorites in the East to win it all this upcoming season. 67-63. We're going to look for Brandon Ingram in the paint. He's going to do his job, finishing in the paint off a post touch. Now we're going to give up way too much space to Dean Wade. That is completely our fault. Chris Bosh, we definitely cannot be giving Dean Wade space from 3, but look at the beautiful pick and pop bounce pass. It's not quite a 3-ball, but we do knock down the mid-range as the game is all tied up at 71. Jared Allen going to try to attack Chris Bosh down low. He cannot get to the fall. That's going to be 23 points and 18 rebounds on the game. Winnable game up against a future playoff team without a doubt. This would be huge for team morale, as look at RJ Barrett gets a beautiful pump fake down low. He's going to get that bucket himself. Now Donovan Mitchell's going to get bailed out with a foul in the post. There was no reason to foul him right there, but he is going to miss his first free throw in this one. He is going to knock down the second one, so now it is going to turn into a free throw game, and we're going to need some clutch free throws here. Chris Bosh, he is a team leader, and he wants the ball to finally put the Cavaliers to rest and pick up our first win up against them in the season, as we do miss our first free throw. You guys see the meter is shaking, but we do get the second one to go. So now it is a 2-point game. Definitely no threes. We cannot give up a 3-ball to this Cavaliers squad. If this has to go into overtime, then so be it. Darius Garland's going to pass out of the shot. Donovan Mitchell's going to jack up the 3-ball. He's going to get a tough catch as we do come over late with the help contest. and he cannot knock it down as we get ourselves another W on the season. 24 points, 18 rebounds, 3 assists, as we do shoot 11 of 23 from the field. And that is going to be enough for 1,200 BC in that one. That was a huge win for the Toronto Raptors, as we do also tack on an extra 7,500 BC. And also we are going to get an extra 100 BC in that one for the jersey swap with Donovan Mitchell. So now we are up to a 77 overall, and we are going to be sitting on 14,000 BC. And really quick, I am just going to check out the next tier for this merchandising quest. It looks like we just need a 25 and 12 game, and we're going to be able to add on another 10,000 BC. Now that we have 14,000 BC to use, I am going to be spending it on our drive and layup. I feel like our drive and layups, the meter, it's just so small on this Hall of Fame difficulty. Whenever we get some steam to the rim, I would like to have a little bit bigger of a green window out there. So we're going to be putting our drive and layup to a 70, and that's going to leave us at 2,000 BC total. As we hop in to our next game, we are going to be playing up against the 9-3 Indiana Pacers, who are currently tied for first in the East. And something interesting about this Indiana Pacers team, you guys are going to see they're running Obi Toppin at the center position. I think he's around 6'9", maybe 6'10", but obviously not the biggest, bulkiest center down low. So we should be able to enforce our will, use our size up against this Pacers team that we all know they like to play fast. So we got to make sure that we get back in transition. As Scotty Barnes, he's going to continue his aggressive play right there, but they're going to answer back with the paint finish of their own. And Chris Bosh, we're going to be looking to give the Indiana Pacers a taste of their own medicine in this one as we run the court right there. Once again, we're out in transition again. We're going to ourselves a nice Euro step finish. We did upgrade our driving layup up to a 70, as later we're going to get a nice block up against Jay Huff. We're going to scoop that one to RJ Barrett in transition, and he's going to get himself an and one finish right there. Jay Huff, once again, he's going at us. He's trying to flop. We're picking up the ball and we're pushing it once again. Scotty Barnes, he's doing a good job running. I'm going to swing it over to Brandon Ingram, though. He's going to give it right back as we have Siakam on us. But I do see Scotty Barnes with Jay Huff on him. I'm thinking maybe he can use his speed up against Jay Huff, but we're going to draw up a play instead to RJ Barrett in the post, man. Look at the way our team is playing. They're literally finishing through contact on a regular basis now. We're going to get involved in the offense once again. Flip on that screen. Next, we're going to hit a go-to shot over Obi Toppin, using our length over him, and we're going to get ourselves a clean look in that one. Now, once again, in the post, this time we have ourselves an even bigger mismatch as we go back to that post go-to shot, and we cut their lead to 3. Now, later on, once again, we're down by 6. RJ Barrett, though, in the corner, finding him in transition for our second assist on the game. Now down by 5. Tyrese Halliburton is going to put up a tough 3 ball. We have 16 points in this one. I see Scotty Barnes running. I'm going to try to finish that one through contact right there, trying to use our 70 drive and layup. But once again, this is Hall of Fame defense. Those layups, even if it's at a 70 overall, are not going to be easy. So that's a tough shot right there to miss. Siakam, though, luckily, he's going to miss that one. Brandon Ingram's coming down with the rebound, and he's pushing it in transition. I'm going to call for the ball right here. Going to hop in the post with a height mismatch, and I'm just going to call for the quick ISO, seeing if we could spin off him, which we do, and finish strong at the rim once again. We're able to keep this game close. It's just taking the lead, which has not been easy, as Scotty Barnes is able to clean up the offensive glass. As we do get the ball back in the post again in this fourth quarter, we're going to this post spin that is working for us all game. Now we have 20 points and 17 rebounds in this one. We are down by 3, 6 minutes left to play. We have been able to keep this one close the entire time. We have just been not able to take the lead. Can it happen here in the fourth quarter? This would be a huge win up against the first seed in the East. Let's see if we can make it happen, as Chris Bosh is going to play some great help defense right there, cut off any look at the paint that they wanted, and it's going to force them into a tough jumper as we are running in transition with the rebound. Jay Huff, he's not quick enough to keep up with us with that 68 speed with ball, so we are going to be able to finish off that one. And now Chris Bosh, we are going to finish down low with the mismatch on us. Now Jay Huff trying to force up a tough shot. Chris Bosh once again playing amazing defense, as we do get a double-double with 20 points and 20 rebounds. We do have 24 and 20 in this game. We only need one more point to lock up that 25 and 12 that we need for that 10,000 BC for the quest. Chris Bosh, we're going to be able to take the transition foul free throw, and we're going to lock up that quest. So now 2 minutes left to play, down by 1. We're going to be matched up against Obi Toppin once again in the paint. They're going to have 2 guys around us. It's getting a little bit crowded. I'm going to swing it over to Brandon Ingram, see if he can create a shot, which he does off the dribble, a massive 3-ball to give us a 2-point lead. That was a massive 3 right there from Brandon Ingram, showing us that he can still be a viable option late in shot clock situations. Now with a 2-point lead, 1:30 left to play in this one. They're looking for Obi Toppin on the pick and roll. We're going to play some great defense there. Scotty Barnes showing his value on the defensive end. We're going to push this one up, almost able to get the and one to go. We are going to settle with some free throws. So now with a 3-point lead, 50 seconds left, we have 30 points in this one, and we're going to give too much space to Obi Toppin as he knocks down a 3-ball to tie things up. 45 seconds left to play. We're setting a screen right here. For whatever reason, Obi Toppin tries to play the reach. Instead of playing disciplined defense, he's going to give us the lane wide open. Tyrese Halliburton is wide open in the corner. He misses the 3-ball. So now it is the foul game. We are able to win the foul game, knock down our free throws when we need them. And we are going to get a 5-point win up against the 9-3 Indiana Pacers. And we do come out with 1,200 BC total in that one. There's the 10,000 BC for the quest completion. The next tier in that merchandising quest line will be for 12,500 BC, and we have to complete our passion project. So that is the quest line that we're going to be focusing on next. But now after that one, we're sitting at a 79 overall, 13,000 BC to spend. I am going to upgrade our offensive rebound some more. I do feel like we can definitely swing some games if we're just able to win the rebounding battle, win the offensive rebounding battle, whatever it is, getting second shot opportunities. That is going to give us silver rebound chaser when it comes to our offensive rebounds, and that is going to cost us 12,900 BC. So we're going to be sitting on 300 BC, and now we're going to be at an 80 overall to end off episode number 4. So yeah, this is going to do it for episode number 4 of our 60 to 99 overall no money spent series with our 6'11 Chris Bosh build. We're going to be finishing this one off at an 80 overall. So if you guys are ready to see more games on the Toronto Raptors as we continue to grind out this 99 overall, definitely do drop a like, subscribe to this channel if you guys are new, leave any comment, you guys have any questions, whatever it is, man, feel free to comment it down below. But yeah, as always, thank you guys for tuning in. That's going to do for this one. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.